Well, hi guys, welcome back to F1 Podcast. We now find ourselves in Bahrain, Pep. But before we venture to the Middle East, it's been a little bit of news this week in Formula One circles, and I guess to kickstart things off, next week we've got the eagerly anticipated McLaren Liargate hearing in front of the FIA's World Motorsport Council.
And so it continues.
So it continues. These guys love the controversy. There's no doubt about it. We had Spygate. Now we've got Liargate. I don't know where it will end. Some say that Ron Dennis took a blow for the team by resigning as CEO of McLaren due to the animosity between him and Max Mosley. I think perhaps Ron was looking at himself as a sacrificial lamb. And we have during the week Martin Whitmarsh writing a letter to the FIA apologising for their behaviour. What are your thoughts, mate? Do you think there will be a points penalty or a fine, or what do you think will happen?
Max, I suspect it'll be a fine. We're still very early in the season, and to basically wipe McLaren out for the entire season and say you're gone, I think would be too harsh. And you'd just lose a whole lot of fans who, McLaren then just becomes a non-competitor for the rest of the season. I don't think you want to do that. Sure, you may want to punish them, and that's fine, but I don't think that you want to sort of remove them from the championship. So I suspect a hefty fine, Max. I'm not honestly, I'm not sure. It could go either way, but at this stage, I think a fine. Yeah,
because I'm looking back to Spygate in 2007, where they kept the drivers. The drivers kept their points. But McLaren lost all of their constructors' points. It'll be interesting to see whether or not the FIA go down that path again this time. But I thought it was fairly damaging to Lewis's reputation, to McLaren's reputation, to effectively try and nail Trulli for what has been proven as something that he didn't do wrong.
Yeah.
So I'd, if anyone out of all of this, the aggrieved person I think should be Jarno Trulli. I'd be pretty pissed off that one of his colleagues tried to nail him to the wall.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be probably another fairly hefty fine. It could actually almost be a repeat of Spygate.
100 million.
Not 100 million, but the penalty in the sense of we'll give them a financial fine. And it could be a loss of either some or all constructors' points.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's going to work, but in my way of thinking, the incumbent Formula One world champion, i.e. Lewis Hamilton, the last thing the FIA are going to want to do is bring the sport down by barring him from effectively defending his title in 2009.
Exactly.
I don't think the FIA and the sport as a whole can actually handle that sort of thing. So I'll be watching closely to see what the results are of the meeting.
Yeah, Max, I think you could be right there. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't take away McLaren's constructors' points, because then you've still got the spectacle of Lewis and Hakey competing and McLaren take the hit. Some would argue that Lewis should also take some ramifications for this.
And I can see their point, quite frankly.
But we'll have to see, and I just hope, Max, that after this hearing that's the end of it. I think we've all heard a lot, and there's been a lot of stuff on the internet and in the press, so let's just get this put behind us after this hearing next week. That would be great, mate.
Everyone's got a moral compass, and Lewis knew what was right and what was wrong, and I mean, the argument could be made that he was following team orders and all that sort of thing. But the Nuremberg trials in the late 40s, that's what all the Nazis said. I was following orders. So let's hope that we can deal with this quick, smart, and get back to racing once and for all.
All right, Max. Well, the other thing we've got on our list in terms of things to talk about is Button. Button's came out in the last few days and has basically said that he doesn't believe the Brawn is now the quickest car, and that there's been a couple of teams that have caught up to them. And I'm not surprised that he said that, mate.
He's got a point.
He has got a point, and he could be sandbagging a little bit, but I think he has got a point. Certainly the Toyotas are looking very quick, and also the Red Bulls. Obviously, they won the last race in China, so I tend to agree with Jensen.
Yeah, I think I think he's stating the bleeding bloody obvious, just quietly. They're no longer the kings of the block. some other teams have caught up. In particular, I've been very impressed with Red Bull and in particular Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah.
Again, that as I mentioned in the last podcast, that Red Bull is a very quick car, and it bodes well for Red Bull and for Sebastian Vettel in particular for this year's World Championship. That Red Bull are currently working on the double-deck rear diffuser, and Christian Horner's been pretty vocal in saying, watch out when we get our diffuser. If you think our car's quick now, wait until we get that thing. Now, that could have been a bit of bravado and him talking shit, but it bodes well for Red Bull, and I hope they can keep it together. For this upcoming race in Bahrain, they've confirmed that they've solved their drive shaft problem, or their issue. They put it down to a bad batch. So it's looking very very good for Red Bull. The Toyota I've been impressed with, even in the off season when they were testing. It's a very well designed car.
Yeah. And
with the aid of the diffuser on it, it's proven its worth. Admittedly, both boys are fueled light for Bahrain, but it's up to them now. They've qualified P1 and P2, and we'll see how they go.
Well, another one, Max, is BMW, who aren't performing this year, and the question that we have is, what the fuck's going on with BMW, mate? They just seem to be struggling big time. I think it was this time last year, 3 races or so into the season, that BMW were leading the championship, and now they're struggling to get into Q2 and Q1. Their race pace is terrible, and I'm just wondering whether they've got the developments coming through. Some cars are getting their diffusers, changing their aeros, their rear floor, their floors, and BMW just doesn't appear to have any pace whatsoever. And Kubica particularly has been quite vocal, and saying, "Come on, guys, give us a car that we can, at least challenge for some points." And it's just pretty sad, I've got to say, mate.
Yeah, this is not what we expected from BMW this year, quite frankly. They've got some updates coming for Barcelona, which is not before time, let's be honest.
Yeah, but so is everyone else.
This is it, and some of the other teams have bought stuff to this Grand Prix as well in Bahrain. BMW still haven't. They've pretty much maintained that once we get back to Europe, when the racing proper starts, we'll start to get our act together. And I sort of figure, guys, that's you're really handicapping yourself. I mean, you've got Robert Kubica, who's comparatively speaking to all the F1 drivers, a pretty heavy guy. Puttering around in that car, he scored no points after the first 3 races.
Yeah.
Mind you, he's in very good company with Massa and Raikkonen in that regard, but I'm a little bit concerned for BMW in the sense that Button's leading the championship on 21 points, so he's got a 21-point head start on both, on Robert Kubica and Massa and Raikkonen, but BMW really, I tell you what, I hope these updates and these improvements that they bolt onto the car from Spain onwards are pretty bloody good, because they're going to need to be. I'm very disappointed. I mean, Heidfeld's got 4 points, I think, after 3 races, which is not what we've come to expect from BMW of late. They've had a fairly meteoric rise over the last couple of years, and I really hope they get their act together. These both Heidfeld and Kubica are very, very good drivers.
They deserve better,
and they deserve better machinery.
They do, definitely,
absolutely, and they deserve it now or yesterday even. So I really hope BMW get cracking and come out with some good kit for these 2 guys who thoroughly deserve it.
Couldn't agree more, Max. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you soon for the next video.
All right, bye.
Bye.